30-some months, there's a big majority on the West Coast. We hadn't even scratched the scratch on the Southeast, but it's not going to be like that for long. So after tonight, you will never be able to say that you were in the right place at the right time again. I'll guarantee it. We've taken pictures. I got the pictures to prove it, right? And they should have seen it before the masses see it. And let me say this. What's going to happen next week? Jeff Olson told me over a year ago he was working on something. And I didn't get excited because when he told me that we were up against multi-billion-dollar companies, Fortune 100 companies, companies you see all across the world on TV, and when he told me that, I'm like, well, I'm not getting excited about that because the odds are it may never happen. Well, he announced several months back that we have secured the deal. We've got it, and we will launch it next week. Here's what he said about next week. And you don't have to believe me. Just watch what's going to happen. He said, next week, we will roll out the biggest breakthrough to ever hit the space of anti-aging. Not my lotion is better than your lotion. He said it is the biggest breakthrough to ever hit anti-aging. And he says you don't have to take his word for it because you're going to see next week that it has the most prestigious Ivy League universities and doctors' names in the entire world attached. He said that it will not make industry news, it will make world news. He said it is so big, what you just saw is mind-blowing. He said the science is a minimum of 100 times greater, and it will make the $700 million we did the first 30-some months look insignificant compared to what he's getting ready to roll out. Dennis Windsor just said this. He said if we were a public company, after they launch it next week, the next day it would be on the front of the Wall Street Journal if we were a public company. That's how big it is. So I don't, you know, if we never launched another thing, never made another announcement, we don't need it, to be honest with you. But to know that's coming, they said, Darren, when I was at the Home Office here a few weeks, 2 or 3 weeks ago, they said, Darren, the next 18 months are the most important 18 months in our career. So all of you that are going, man, I wish we were in the company 3 years ago. No, you don't, by the way, because all we had was a bottle. That's it. And clinical trial pictures. We didn't have any of the things that you have now. But knowing what we have coming next week, let me tell you something. That's why the next 18 months are critical. There's a point in time where every hour that you work will later take somebody thousands of hours to get the same results. Then there'll come a point years from now it's impossible to get the same results. For example, Sweet Frog. It's impossible to get the results that we got several years ago. Cell phones. It's impossible to get what that guy got in the early 90s. It's done. It's over. There will come a point in the area you can make great money. It'll all be a great opportunity, but they will not be able to do what we can do in the next 18 months. So the good news is today is the last day of the month.